News broke today. It's nothing we didn't see coming because this was announced, a few weeks in the past. But Israel to close Al Jazeera news network in the country. CNN reports Israel has ordered the closure of Al Jazeera in the country, a move the Qatar-based news network called a criminal act. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said in a post on X, "The government headed by me unanimously decided the incitement channel, Al Jazeera, will be closed in Israel." Ophir Gendelman, the Prime Minister's spokesperson to the Arab world, said Sunday, you talk about a tough gig, said Sunday that the decision would be implemented immediately. Yeah, that's worse than Jen Psaki had it.
I just flew into Gaza. Boy, are my arms tired.
Yeah. Wow. That is something, huh? In a post on X, Gendelman said that the network's broadcast equipment will be confiscated. The channel's correspondents will be prevented from working. The channel will be removed from cable and satellite television companies, and Al Jazeera's websites will be blocked on the internet. Israeli cable providers ceased carrying the Al Jazeera networks by late Sunday afternoon.
Wow.
Yeah. Gendelman
only democracy in the Middle East, folks.
Yeah, unbelievable. Gendelman quoted Netanyahu as saying, "Al Jazeera reporters harmed Israel's security and incited IDF soldiers. It is time to expel the mouthpiece of Hamas from our country." Video obtained by CNN showed Israeli police, accompanied by agents of the Israeli security agency, entering Al Jazeera's broadcasting position in Jerusalem on Sunday. Al Jazeera also said the Israeli cabinet's decision infringed on the human right to access information. It continued, Israel's suppression of the free press to cover up its crimes by killing and arresting journalists did not deter us from performing our duty. More than 140 Palestinian journalists have been martyred for the sake of the truth since the beginning of the war on Gaza. Now, that's not everything. They didn't just ban Al Jazeera. Let's go to Sky News for a breaking update on this from just a few hours ago.
You know, that's so weird, man. You have a whole thing called Dissident Dialogues that didn't do a panel on murdered journalists.
No.
Isn't that weird?
No, that's woke.
Isn't that weird?
That's woke.
That's too woke.
Yeah, it's too woke. Yeah.
If they hadn't been reporting the wrong thing, they'd still be alive.
Yeah, exactly.
We have some breaking news for you, and following that edict from the Israeli cabinet to shut down all Al Jazeera operations in Israel, we understand that Israeli police have now raided the offices of Al Jazeera inside Israel. I'm just going to read you what's coming into me now. It says Israeli police have raided a Jerusalem hotel room used by Al Jazeera as its de facto office. Following that government decision to shutter the Qatari-owned TV station. That's according to an Israeli official and an Al Jazeera source speaking to the Reuters news agency there. It says that video is circulating online of plainclothes officers dismantling camera equipment in the hotel room. The Al Jazeera source has said that the hotel is in East Jerusalem. We'll bring you more on that. But as we know earlier, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, during that cabinet meeting with his communications officer, signed an order to close down Al Jazeera news network's operations inside Israel, calling it a Hamas mouthpiece. Of course, that's been rejected by Al Jazeera, saying this is a dangerous and political decision from the Israeli cabinet. That edict in Israel also means that you can confiscate all materials by a news network when you decide to shut down its operations. We'll bring you more on that as and when we get it.
Okay. Now, we're hearing reports, and these are unconfirmed, but they seem pretty reputable to me, that the ground invasion of Rafah is not too far away. So they are shutting down what I would consider by far the most reputable news organization in Israel ahead of this Rafah ground offensive. What does that tell you? That tells you they're trying to get the cameras off so that no one shows anyone in Israel what's actually going on. Not that most of them would particularly care, but some might, and we have to get the cameras off because of what is about to happen. That's what I think. I think this is in preparation for a ground offensive in Rafah, and what a horror show, and what a disgraceful action. And the timing makes it all the more awful. Not that this would have been anything better than that under any circumstance, but given the fact that you have an imminent ground invasion, yeah, this is going to make it all the more difficult for the truth to come out.
Well, and I think our working theory is just reinforced here, that they made some kind of deal on Iran. They made some kind of, hey, we haven't made all the preparations for World War III yet. So don't start it off with Iran. We're low on ammunition. We sent it all to that comedian.
Right.
So
Yes.
you can't start World War III for another couple years. Okay, so hold off on that. And in exchange, they turned the taps back on, the pro-Israel propaganda. I can't look at my news feed without professional organizers were working with students months before protests. I can't look at my news feed without an attack on students, an attack on any kind of dissenting voices. And that happened with such suddenness. It was clearly an order that came from the top. This is in keeping with that. This is another phase in that. Now they have to shut down Al Jazeera to make it harder to show people the kinds of pictures that are rightly turning them against Israel. It's tragic. We've said this from the beginning. You've said this from the beginning. They're gonna ethnically cleanse these people from that land. Like, sadly, tragically, we as activists have to think forward to what we're going to do post that.
Right.
Because it seems like that not happening is simply not in the cards, tragically, for these poor people.
I agree, and you're right. That's what I have said all along, and I really hoped I was wrong, and I still do.
Israel just rejected the ceasefire thing. Look, the ceasefire shit with Israel, it's just like the two-state solution. They use it to buy time.
Exactly.
And they never have any intention of following through with it.
Exactly. It's just
it's a distraction
thing.
Yep.
Indeed.
Please clap.